Hello, hello, friends! Today we are going to be making a line practice worksheet. We're going to be practicing together. Line is an important element of art, and we need to learn how to draw lines in order to talk about art, in order to create art. Remember, a line is a dot that went for a walk. A line is just a path created by a moving point. And today you're going to need a couple of sheets of paper. All right. You're going to need something to make that point or to make your lines with. I'm using a Sharpie marker, but you could use crayon. You could use oil pastel. You could use marker. If you do decide to use Sharpie marker, I want you to remember that you need to have some papers underneath, okay? Because Sharpie goes through paper and it might accidentally make a mark on the table that you're working on. So you want to be very careful and have some buffer papers underneath, okay? So, here we go. Line. Let's start by writing the word line. L-I-N-E. Now, if you are a kindergartner, that is the only thing that I need you to write out today. Everybody else, all my first grade through 5th grade friends, I want you to write out the names of the lines that we are making. Your paper should look exactly like mine. Okay, so we started with the word line. And like I said, kindergarten, that is the only word that you have to spell out today. We're going to start with actually kind of a tricky word for line. It's horizontal. And a horizontal line, Horizontal. Horizontal lines are lines that are laying down. They're going from left to right. I'm going to draw a few horizontal lines. Some horizontal lines can be short. They can be long. They're horizontal lines that are laying down. Now, the next line, and this tells us what direction our lines are going in. Our next line is called vertical. Boys and girls, I know I have a tendency to go a little bit fast, but you know what? That's okay, because we are all working on our computers today, and we have a pause button that we can use if I'm going too fast for you, all right? So the next one is vertical, and a vertical line is a line that is going up and down. It can be long, it can be short, it can be medium, but here are a bunch of vertical lines. I want you to draw a bunch of vertical lines. The next one is called diagonal. A diagonal line is very fun. And I'll tell you why, because it can go two different ways. A diagonal line could be leaning this way, going left, or it could be leaning right. So it goes both ways. Huh. Interesting. Next page. I'm going to put it to the side in case you need to see. Oh, look, it's a good thing I had that paper underneath that first paper. Because look, can you see? It caught some of my permanent marker or Sharpie on that paper. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to put a paper on top. I'm going to even them out. There we go. All right. The next line that we are going to work on is called a curved line. I like curved lines because they can go many different ways and they remind me of some letters. Let's start with the first one. A curved line that bumps out to the right. What letter does that remind you of? If you said B or D, you'd be right. The next one curves to the left. It looks like the letter C. The next one, if it bumps up like that, looks like a rainbow line to me. And the last one is my favorite. It looks like smile line, or it looks like the letter U. Now let's try a horizontal zigzag line. I love the word zigzag. Zigzag line, it's just so fun to say. Zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. And I really love zigzag lines. They're pointed lines. You could use them for monster teeth. Or what I really love them for is that they remind me of the mountains. Now, a zigzag line does not just have to go left or right and go all over. I wonder if we did it. Let's see. Whoa, this is a challenge. If you want to try putting a zigzag in a circle, look at that. It kind of looks like the sun. All right, next line. I love the next line. The next line is a wavy line. And a wavy line is really fun because it reminds me of the ocean. What does it remind you of? Next up is a loopy line. Loopy lines are kind of fun because they can go many different ways. Let me show you what I mean. We're going to go make a horizontal loopy line, but look, it reminds me of the roller coaster at Six Flags. It goes, whoa, up and loops back, whoa, whoa. So that loopy line goes up. But I can also draw a loopy line that goes down. Look at this. Do you see how they go in different directions? I also like it because it reminds me of lace. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Okay, the next paper. The next set of lines. Okay, it's going to be our last paper for the day. Oh, I did it again. Thank goodness I have this catcher paper. The next set of lines that we're going to do, we're going to start with bumpy lines. Bumpy lines, some people also call these scalloped lines. And they're kind of like the loopy lines where you can bump them up. Now remember, boys and girls, I've had a lot of practice drawing lines. I've been drawing lines for a very, very long time. So I can draw them pretty fast. I don't want you to go as fast as me. Take your time when you're drawing. But like I said, a bumpy line is kind of fun because it can go bump up, or just like the loopy line, it can bump down. If you really want a challenge, try this next thing. Try drawing it in a circle. What does that remind you of? To me, it kind of looks like a cloud or a flower. Okay, next up is going to be a dashed line. A dashed line. And I'll bet you've seen a dashed line, maybe even this morning, maybe on the road. A dashed line is one of the lines that we call a broken line, okay? It can go with long lines. It can go with short lines. All right. It doesn't have to go left or right. It can go wavy if I wanted to. But it's called a broken line because I have to pick up my Sharpie from the paper to draw this line. let's draw another broken line. The next broken line that we're going to draw is called a dotted line. And I'll bet you've seen dotted lines all the time. Same thing, I got to pick up my Sharpie to draw my dotted line. And look at this. I can make my dotted line go in many different ways. It can look like a waving line. Okay? But it's a broken line because I have to lift up my Sharpie. Okay. We got 2 more lines to draw. I hope you're ready for a challenge. The next one is called a squared line, also known as the castle line, and you'll see why in a second. We're going to start out, let's see, reading the word squared. But we're going to start out, and it's going to look like that dashed line that we drew before. Look at that. This is a trick. This is a secret of artists. All right? And we're going to turn it into a squared line just like this. Did you see that? When we start the lines like this, it makes it look even. And, you know, just making the sounds kind of fun too. Look at that. That is a beautiful squared line or castle line. All right. Last up, the last one that we have for today is called a spiral line. A spiral line is one of my favorite lines because you can draw it 2 different ways. All right. A spiral line, you can start from the center and make it curve. And it's a line that grows bigger and bigger and bigger. Whoa! Until it gets huge. Looks like a tornado, doesn't it? The other way to draw a spiral line, and you got to figure out what works for you, is starting big and then making your line curve in and get smaller and smaller and smaller. So 2 ways to draw spiral lines. All right, boys and girls, that is it for the day. We have practiced drawing all of our lines. I had a lot of fun with you. I hope you had fun too. Let's see, let's review what we went over. We've got our spiral, our squared, our dotted, our dashed, our bumpy, our loopy, our wavy, our zigzag, our curved, our diagonal, our vertical, and our horizontal. We did all these line practices today. You did a great job. Give yourself a little pat on the back. And we're going to use these lines in some upcoming projects. I love it. Have a good day.